So if you've ever wanted to make a short animated movie, it's a lot easier than you think. Often we overcomplicate things. I'm definitely guilty of that, but it can be dead simple. So I just want to show you what I'm doing at the moment and what I've done in the past, and maybe give you some ideas for creating a short animated movie fast. So at the moment what I'm working on is quite a long short animated movie, the Paint on Safari. It's going to be 8 parts. It's going to be about, well, just under 30 minutes long, and I'm only almost halfway there. I've done 3, I'm starting part 4. So this is not the way to make a short animated movie fast. This has taken me the best of the past 4 years to get here. Not always working on it. My average when I'm making animated content is about a month a minute. So call it 12 to 15 months of actual work to get here. Not exactly fast. Now, when I started making shorts about 5 or 6 years ago, it was a different story. I've made quite a few now, and they haven't taken that long. We're talking weeks to a few months. Train Spotter didn't take me much more than, I think, 2 months. And the Painter series started out being very, very short shorts. They were about 2 minutes each, and they literally took days. How I did that, and what you might want to keep in mind, is I just changed backgrounds. I made the character and I had a basic animation, and it was just all repeatable. So if you've got a character doing the same things over and over, then you can just change backgrounds and move it around, and it's a very, very fast way to make a short animated film. If I go a little bit further back, one of the best films I ever made, ironically, one of the first films I ever made was A Man Walks Into the Bank, and that was just over 2 minutes long. Now, on my current schedule or rate of a month a minute, that would take 2 months to make. I think it took less than 2 weeks to make, and that was very, very basic and kept it very, very simple. And also, technically, it was actually only a minute because it had a repeat in it. The first half was the man without a mask, and the second half was the man with a mask. So technically it was just over a minute. It took me about 2 weeks. I kept the background simple. I kept the characters very simple, not a whole lot of action going on, and I knocked that out in about 2 weeks. Right now I'm taking the scene that I've created in my course Animating with OpenToonz, and I'm making a short movie out of that, and I'll make some more videos about this. It'll go into my course, into my Animating with OpenToonz course. But basically, after I made the scene, which is just a scene for the course, I thought, what can I do with this? It's about 2 minutes long, just under 2 minutes long, and that would have taken 2 months. It probably took me longer, because the other thing you got to take into account is how detailed your animation is. I'm working at about a month a minute. You can get it to half that if it's simple, and you can get it to double that if it's complex. So I probably spent double what I usually spend on this. So maybe 4, 5 months, perhaps even 6 on this scene. So what I did when I finished the course a couple of months ago, I thought, what can I do with this, and can I make a movie out of it? And I brainstormed a few ideas, came up with a few options, and what I've done is I've actually added another character to the scene, this little girl with a balloon, and she lets the balloon go, and the balloon goes through the scene, which actually added to the scene. Forget about it being in a short movie, it's actually added to the scene quite nicely, because the actual scene is just a one shot. The camera tracks through the whole scene, and after the harbor scene it tracks under the bridge and along the valley and then up into the clouds. So I just added a balloon which actually ties the scene together quite nicely. And then it's got a bit of a twist at the end, which I won't allude to now, because that is the whole movie. And it'll be about 3.5 minutes long. I've added probably a minute on the end, and that will take me probably less than a week to do. But keep in mind, I've spent, 4, 5, 6 months on the actual scene. So hardly a short movie. But there definitely are ways to make short animated movies fast, especially going back to the early work that I did with the Painter, especially if you have repetitive moves, like the Painter walking up and down the ladder and painting, or just the Painter moving around walking. If you can take these repetitive moves and just put them on different backgrounds, that is a very, very efficient way of creating animated material. Of course, you've got to do a lot more, you've got to add sound, etc. But if you can just repeat your moves over and over, Little bit like Disney does. They jump back into their archives and they go take some old footage and just put it into a new movie. Kind of the same thing. So if it's your footage, if you've created it years ago or months ago, go ahead and reuse it. Definitely I do a lot of that with this painter character because he does a lot of the same things over and over. So that is a very quick, very quick way to create animated movies. Okay, so I've given you a few ideas there, a few things that I use in my work, and I've shown you what's coming up, this movie that I'm making out of the course here. And of course, all this will be in the course. That's Animating with OpenToonz course. Thank you very much for dropping into my channel and watching this. And as usual, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to get my newsletters, please go and hit the link there and add your email address and I'll send you a regular newsletter. And otherwise, thanks very much. Keep animating out there and I'll see you again real soon. All the best. Bye.